the people. Not to please such people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah An-Nisa He does not send down legislation to tell you how many wives you can have. No, that's not the purpose. He sends down legislation to limit the number you can have. وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا أَلَّا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامَى وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامَى فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدَةً أَوْ مَا ملكت أيمانكم أو ما ملكت أيمانكم. So one of the ways in which the young man can find release for this raging tension around him and bring some satisfaction to the thirst is in plural marriages. To the extent that you have the means to maintain and to guard and protect, Allah permits you to have more than one wife. All through our history, for 1400 years, this was never a problem. This was never a subject of debate amongst the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, no. The Prophet himself ﷺ had many wives, and so too his companions. It is only when Dajjal gave us modern Western civilization that modern Western civilization came with this new dogma that we never heard before. Good men have only one wife. Virtuous men have only one wife. Men of character and integrity have only one wife. And if a fella has more than one wife, something is wrong with him. He's rotten. Stay away from him. When they brainwash you into accepting that rubbish, then they'll point and say, you see that prophet? See how many wives he had? So stay away from this religion. That's the strategy. How do we respond? The answer is, if we cannot change the society, and we cannot change women who are already brainwashed, sorry for using that language, brainwashed, then what we'll do is to remove ourselves and withdraw and go and build our little piece of heaven somewhere out in the remote countryside, where we build a Muslim village. Amongst the signs of the last day is that one man would have to maintain how many women?
50.
Huh?
50.
Are you scared to say it?
50.
One man would have to maintain 50 women, 50. That's 40 plus 10, eh? Indicating, among other things, that there is going to be a calamitous decline in the birth of baby boys. Why? Ask your cell phone. Ask the radiation that is corrupting the sperm production. The technicians who have to work putting up the poles for your cell phones to work, these technicians cannot have baby boys anymore. Their wives give only baby girls. The evidence is already there. So when you build a Muslim village in the remote countryside, if she says, I don't want my husband to take another wife, you can say to her, why don't you stay in Johannesburg? you're not yet ready for the Muslim village. The Muslim village is for those women who bow their heads in submission to Allah and His Messenger. Not for those women who still raise their heads in defiance of what has come from Allah and His Messenger. I know I'm going to hurt the feelings of some people. I know some are going to be very angry with me for speaking like this. But the Muslim village is for those Muslim women who bow their heads in submission to that which has come from Allah and His Messenger. Not for those whose heads are still raised in defiance. If what we are saying about what has come from Allah and His Messenger is wrong, then correct us. Yes, by do means correct us. But if this is what is in the Quran and Sunnah, then this is a means through which young men can respond to the sexual provocation of Dajjal's sexual revolution. The Muslim village offers yet something else. We are moving into an age now where large numbers of women will not be able to get husbands, so long as you stick to monogamy, one man, one wife. It's already in the world, in many parts of the world. Singapore, for example. So many in Singapore come to me, Maulana, help me. I want to get married. So many come to my wife, please tell Maulana, I want to get married. Can you help me? Yeah? Because we can't find a husband. Why? Because not available. One man, one wife. Scarcity of men. So when we build a Muslim village, we say that any woman who comes to the village, and remember, not all trees are ornamental trees, eh? Any woman who comes to the village and says, I want a husband, somebody has to offer to marry her. And when you marry her, remember, you've got to live in our village, so we're looking to see. If you step out of line and you misbehave and you're not treating her well, the whole village will respond. This is not like the modern city where you don't even know your next door neighbor's name. No, not in a village. In a village, we all live like a family. So every single woman who comes to the village and says, I want to get a husband, somebody has to offer to marry. Not because you offer to marry her, does it mean she has to accept her? She has the freedom to say no to you. If she has an offer and she turns it down, well then, the ball is in her court. But there will be no women in the village who want husbands and who does not have husbands. There will be women who say, I'm no longer interested in a husband, I'm fine as I am. So you wouldn't expect such a woman to fall prey to adultery, fornication. No. For adultery and fornication to take place, you've got to find a woman who is willing. You can't find them in the Muslim village. You've got to go outside of the Muslim village, not in the Muslim village. Because every woman in the Muslim village either has a husband or is not interested in marriage. I'm fine as I am. As a consequence of which we believe that we might be able to survive while the ship is sinking in the rest of the world.
Penal code. There was one last question.
Would the penal code be? Would the penal code? The penal code would be the laws of punishment. Penal code, laws of punishment. In Brooklyn, Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, I think it was, African Americans had a masjid Ikhwa, I think it was. Imam was Imam Ibrahim, who was tall as a coconut tree and a powerfully built man. And the African Americans, mashallah, they had a lot of sincerity in their heart. So if somebody committed zina, he would come and tell the Imam. he would come and tell Imam, I did it. And then Imam will roll up his sleeve. Imam will roll up his sleeve, and in the masjid, Imam and a few others will give him a beating. And after he'd gotten his beating, mashallah, he's purified, he's still a member of the Jama'ah. Yeah. And life goes on in the masjid in Brooklyn. And the government of the United States of America have never done anything to prevent Imam Ibrahim